Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark G, the G behind the G Spot Trail, and today I thought I'd explain a little bit about the trail design, and yeah, why and what I did to create this awesome trail. So I hope you enjoy, hope you like and subscribe. Hope these little videos are cool. I hope you guys enjoy the info, and yeah, really appreciate it. And I'm gonna pretty much just have a walk up the trail and kind of just explain how each obstacle or what was behind the design, you know, why and what. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, let's get it started. So this is where it all started. I stood here looking up. You can see the koppie. From there, ran it all the way down to here. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I know I wanted to have a little bit of everything in there. Little jump, roller, little drop, you know, a couple of turns. Just stuff that you can learn how to handle your bike. At the time, I had a hardtail bike. I feel like I didn't have the skills at the time to ride the other trails that were around, you know, the heavier downhill tracks my friends were riding. So this would be like the perfect little sneaky training ground. So when I jumped the fence, I sort of, imagining more or less the line swinging all the way to more or less like to the trees there, to kind of the lowest point I can go so that I can get the longest route. So I made a big S, try and getting here. Otherwise the trail would have just been pretty straight, and that's not, I don't want to have a straight trail. So yeah, I went and worked, well, checked out how the gradient, how the fall was going, the furthest lowest point, and then swung people back again to the furthest lowest point where those olive trees are, and then bring them back again, you know, with a little bit of a climb, or a little pedaling section I should say, and then bring you down into the finishing section, the showing off finish jumps, I would say. So that was it. I mean, it was all grass, yeah, all grass. So I basically had to just take these bushes out, and you can see the size of the bush. And when you get to the stem and you pop the stem out, you get to clear that whole space. And that's all I basically did, yeah, is walk up. And I only did about 50 meters a day. So I'd walk up and then pop these bushes out, you know, at the stem, and then take out the whole bush. And it really did help a lot, it made things go so quick. When I started, I only had the small jump and a fairly bigger jump. These have gotten a lot bigger over the years. I also decided to add the middle size one, because the little one was just, everyone is doing it too easy. So a little middle jump, and then the big jump, which I think is pretty fun and a good size for all, pretty safe, I guess. Wasn't too hard to build. You'll see that a lot of my soil I got out of my drainage, basically, that's on the side. So I'd either use the drainage or I'd use the soil behind the obstacle. So behind the berms, I would either scoop out the berm, I'll show you just now. So I either scoop the inside of the berms and through the sand outside to get the shape, and then every year just come back and add more and more and more. Every winter basically. Gets too hard in summer, can't do any building. I'll show you with these 3 turns. So I knew I had to get this run up for the jumps. So nothing in the run up. I thought I needed a little feature. So I thought I'd do these 2 berms. And then I made the 3rd one later on. But a lot of the soil, you can see from the height of the depth of that edge, that was dug out, and I threw it up onto the edge, onto the side to make the berm. Same with here. You can see getting all my soil out of there. There's a little edge, you know, the ground level. So I dug it out and just threw it all on to shape the berm. Again, drainage. And here we go. So this turn's evolved, the shape has changed over the years. But such a rad feeling, throwing your body left to right. I thought I'd do a little jump just before it. You'll see all the jumps are about a bike length. Didn't want to make it too high, too far. I wanted you to basically come down the trail floating, you know, just floating over little jumps, you know, just staying on trail, pop over, pop over, pop over, roll something, pop it. That was the plan. Nothing big, nothing crazy, just flowing down the trail. So the split, this is the jump line, came about because the boys were getting too tired going the long way, which was the original way. So I built a little shorter route with more jumps. The guys don't get so tired on their DH bikes. And then I made a little split that was also just to do something different. So I did a whole lot of rollers there. Then I'll walk up the main line now. But this came from watching like the mountain bike videos, Crank, New World Disorder, you name it, Seasons. I get the ideas from watching their videos and how they filmed guys splitting off like at Whistler and then coming back all into one trail, you know, just the rollers and the jumps. And I wanted to freaking emulate that. I wanted to do that, yeah, you know, stuff I was seeing on the videos. So back then it was so cross-country riding, and I was working for a trail building company at the time, and we were just building flat trails, XC trails, you know, for races. Didn't want to have jumps and dangerous things on the trail. So that also inspired me to do something totally different, creating the bigger berms and creating this rhythm on the trail. So that's why you see about every 30 meters or so is a roller, is a jump, or something going on. Wanted to keep the trail nice and active, so that your bike's getting a whole lot of different compressions. So this was the lowest point, as low as I could go, and then I went up into this little pedaling section. Felt I needed a pedaling section, otherwise it's just too easy, you know. This had to be a little training ground, spot where you can practice, you know, and train your skills every day. So I had to build the obstacles and the different rhythms, different feels, breaking points that would be because of these obstacles. So you learn a lot quickly, confidently. You can see add little jumps into the berm. This one you really got to rail it if you want to get up that little pedaling section. It's pretty safe, pretty cool. You can really go at it if you got the balls for it. But this was where I aimed for first. And I built this in reverse because I wanted to see how low I had to go or could go. You can see it's pretty low, yeah, stretching back up. Yeah, so this was that roller section. I wanted to do kind of a left, right, left, right, left, right feeling with a compression. So you built these rollers in between these little berms. So this line's not quite straight, so you have to turn and turn. You can see you're coming into the berm, into this, into the one I'm on, into a little left and right, right and left, non-stop moving and and getting your body in the right position, your bike in the right position. That was all freaking critical, yeah, for me, for the fun levels. I mean, I wanted this to be a super tube of dirt. You know, I wanted to come into these corners and then just straight into the next one in the next one, like riding a wave or riding a super tube of dirt for bikes. This is a little tabletop straight section, tabletop roller, tabletop. All small, nothing too big. Again, you're just getting that sensation of being in the air. Doesn't have to be a big jump, a massive gap. It's just about popping and feeling that technique of jumping. And this is also a little pedal into these two rollers and then into the tabletops. So you're gonna roll, pop, roll, pop. So you're just jumping and moving on the bike, keeping your speed. And this was the setup before. So you have a little pedal. Again, the trail, didn't want it to be too easy. I could have made it just go straight down. You know, if you take the short route, yeah, then you skip this pedal. Then the route is totally, well, pedalless. You don't have to pedal. Just do gravity runs. So yeah, that's the split I had to do for the boys, just so that they can have their little fun, not be so tired after runs. This little stretch did always work the body. Going into these two big 180 berms, I wasn't sure how people were going to have their speed, so I thought I'd just do a roller into a jump to kind of gain your speed again if you've lost it. But look at this. This is my pride and joy. This feels so good on the body, on the bike. I mean, you want to be level with it, railing it through, yeah. Feel like you're almost upside down coming through this thing. And it is, it's beauty. It's pure beauty and G-forces. And then you're coming out of this thing, just exactly the same. You can hit this with so much speed. So much speed coming out of here. Into this big one. Into that one. And this was like my main feature. Like, I love this thing. Nowhere else have you ridden something like this. You know, back then, this was all new. Like, these angles, no one was running stuff like this into big 180s. The trails were very flat, not so progressive. Turns were tight back then. So yeah, thought I'd do berms on every little corner or turn or angle just to catch you. So yeah, another split for the boys, just adding more fun to the trail, more variation. And then I wanted to do these two tabletops here, but man, I think I just got the spacing in the middle a little short, I suppose. I wanted it bigger than that, but again, it makes it technical. You got a little roller here into this tabletop, jump, into jump, and then you straight into that corner.